Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat X Goro. I don't know if you guys like this new design or not, but the figure itself is executed really well, so I wanted to review it for you guys. I'm curious, let's do a question of the day. Do you like the more modern Goro that looks a little bit more realistic in terms of the attire and all that kind of stuff, or do you like the more classic looking Goro? Now, unfortunately, I did sell on accident my old Goro. The first release they had, I thought I saved an extra of him and Sub-Zero for myself, but I sold them on accident, so I am down some Mortal Kombat figures, unfortunately. So I can't do a direct comparison other than to have that review up there for you guys. But this is the new, very realistic looking Goro from Mortal Kombat X. Solid figure. Let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. It's a standard Storm package. Pretty big though. Obviously it's a bigger figure, so that's fine. You have a big image of the figure right there on the front. Looks alright. Side is bad. There's not enough on it. It's just his ear. So that sucks. That side's good though. I like that side a bunch. So if you're going to display this, it's going that way. If you're doing them sideways, I know some of you do that. And then you have probably poorly used space. It's like they did this for a standard size package, and then we're like, oh crap, he's taller than normal, and just, you know, added a little bit extra there. So that kind of blows. But this part's nice. It definitely looks like they didn't plan that properly. This should be way bigger. Weird. Okay. Not the best packaging from Storm, but Storm does have good packaging in general. Alright, let's get into the guy. He stands... He's not over. Okay, yeah. He stands about 10 inches to the top of his noggin, not counting his hair. That's going to be roughly, we'll call it 25.5 centimeters. That's pretty close. And here he is up against Darwin. A lot of size to him compared to your standard 1/12 scale. So this guy's a big fella. Alright, he does seem, let's go ahead and get into the aesthetic. He seems a little bit orange to me. Now, I'm not the biggest expert on Mortal Kombat X, but I have seen images, plenty of them. And I could be wrong here, I could be remembering incorrectly, but he seems a little bit orange. Not so much that it's like a deal breaker necessarily, but he's pretty orange. Let me know what you think about that. Alright, but the paint job is generally nice. There's shading throughout on the skin tones. And then there's just tons of detail packed into his wristbands and all the other various parts of his body. So it's really nice looking. It's gonna look good on a shelf. His little scale things on his back, pretty nicely done, like surprisingly well done. Storm generally does a good job of painting, sure, but that's not an easy thing to achieve, and they did a good job, so that's alright. And then his face. I do like the way they did the eyes. They're bright red, so they're gonna stand out. Pretty sure they did the last Shao Kahn that same way, so that was good. I don't like his top lip. I know this version of Goro has kind of a weird looking mouth, but I think they overdid the top lip way too much. He looks like he got bit by... Looks like he bit down on a bumblebee or something and he got poofy. So, I don't know. That top lip is a little bit weird, but you do have some alternate head options to change that out if you want to. And then lastly, for the aesthetic, his necklace actually has some clear plastic on there. Looks really, really good. So, yeah, sculpt-wise it's nice, paint-wise it's nice. I think it's one of their better looking figures for sure, if you're into the more realistic looking Mortal Kombat guys. I know the ninjas can get away with it a little easier. I don't know if people are going to want this over the slightly more cartoonish classic looking Goro, but for what it is, it looks great, and I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I think he's pretty orange, but other than that, there's not a whole lot to critique here. Looks pretty darn good. Okay, for accessories, you do get the normal face that I already showed you that comes on him in the package. Then you get the angry face. Not the best look. It's okay. I mean, it'll do. But I think the yelling face they really did a good job with. His eyes look a little weird, I guess. But the mouth part is nice. So I don't think he has the best heads out of all of the Storm figures. But most of the figures from Storm have the best heads. So that's what it is. The hair, by the way, stays connected to the head. It does rotate. Do not try to pull it off. It's not meant to come off. That's interesting to me, but that's the way it goes. And then for hands, he comes with fist hands on him in the package. Then you get a whole bunch of other hands because he has twice as many needed as most figures. That's it though. So we are lacking anything else. Not the most interesting assortment of accessories. It will get the job done, but nothing really special here. So I'm going to go just 7 out of 10. You know, that could have raised the price or something. That's why they didn't want to do it, but still, he is a bit lacking. All right, for articulation, we have a little bit of an annoying issue, which you'll probably guess is right in here. That's where it is. But let's go ahead and see what we have going on everywhere else. The neck works very well. He can lean, as Storm kind of pioneered this technology when they first started releasing the figures, and it didn't work that well. With the soft necks, it can work nicely. This guy does, but it works so well. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Hold on. It works so well on this guy that it actually pinches in too much. Like, it actually caves in his clavicle area just a little bit, but you can, of course, use that to whatever degree you want, and that'll be nice. So you get that nice neck range out of him. You can make him look forward and down, or, oh no! Oh, that's gonna be such a pain in the butt. Alright, well, maybe it won't be, because you can see inside this guy pretty easily. And that was gonna be my one gripe. I'll talk about it now. He doesn't have much meat here for this upper torso joint. And so this very easily gets tucked underneath the shoulder cap, and then that gets to be a problem. Let's see if I can get his neck back in conveniently. This is gonna be a nightmare. Great for posability, not great for assembly, because the skeleton that I'm trying to peg the neck into, this piece right here, there's a ball peg at the bottom also, so it just wants to move constantly when you're trying to peg it together. Alright, I'm in the cup, let's see. Aha! Got it. Alright, so let's see. His little meat flaps didn't tuck in, so I guess it's not going to be that bad. But yeah, just be aware, it gets a little bit cumbersome, and like I said, the neck works functionally, but it might be a little bit too much if you go too far, so just be aware of that. A little bit of finesse, there you go, you can see it caves it in, but still looks kind of good, so a little finesse will go a long way. As is usual for the Storm figures, you get that neck range down there, but the head on top of the neck, you get very little range, because the ball peg for the neck actually goes inside a cylinder, which means no range, just a swivel. So, it's not the best, it's not the worst. Neck is good, but big, thin plastic might be a little ugly in some poses. Shoulders have the full range going around, of course. Ball peg not too loose, not too tight, not bad. Hinge, very nice, no problem with the range there. Again, just be aware of this. This doesn't go up very high, and this doesn't come down very low, so you're going to get gapping and some tucking, so be aware of that. But this shoulder works pretty well, not nearly as well as the top, but it'll be okay for his second set of arms. It'll be fine. Bicep swivel on this one, double jointed elbow, wrist. It's all the same thing, basically. It's a slightly smaller version of this one. So this guy, bicep swivel, is there. It's a little tight due to the sculpt, but you'll be able to give it a little bit of force and get your range out of it, so that's alright. Double jointed elbow, not bad for a big guy. It's about 90. The big gauntlet thingies get in the way. They are floating pieces. You do get a ball hinge for the wrist, so it's your standard Storm articulation, and it's going to work pretty much the same as you would expect. Alright, now moving this part up here, you can move the whole thing around, and it can get kind of weird looking. You're going to have to constantly be readjusting his tatties, which isn't a huge deal. I mean, that's fine. Just be aware, it's a big flat, almost flat piece of plastic. So I guess I probably could have mentioned in the articulation section, or aesthetic section, his pecs look a little bit weird. But once you kind of move them around and get them where you want them, it's not too bad. There's not a whole lot you can do when you're dealing with unusual anatomy that definitely couldn't work in real life. So, it's whatever. And down here we have another ball peg that lets the whole thing move around. Not too bad. You get decent range out of that, and of course it's pretty well hidden by his belt skirt piece, which is fairly soft, and it's actually a couple different pieces of plastic. So that's alright. Now let's see how the hips work. They go out to the side, no problem. He's going to be able to do those splits really easily. No real issues at all going on there. That's nice. Let's see how about going forward. Not bad. You know, the plastic's going to be plastic, but you get decent range. And then going back, really well. His butt cheeks squish. So, not bad at all. Let's see. Thigh swivel is fine. So far, I haven't come into any real issues with the joints. Double jointed knee. Could be better range, but it's alright. These are floating pieces, by the way, so you can move them around to get them where you need them. And then for the ankles, let's see. Storm usually kind of sucks for the ankles. They go back all right. Almost no forward still. I don't know why they won't do that. They will not let the ankles go forward. The toe hinge is decent, still ugly and not designed the way it should be, but it's functional enough, so that's okay. And then the ankle rocker, it's pretty steep and pretty stiff, but it's okay. So, his articulation, not bad at all. Could it be better? Sure. I think, you know, a little bit more finesse in the upper torso area wouldn't have hurt, but it's not bad. And then the ankles kind of suck. But otherwise, he's solid. He's not bad at all. He's up there as one of Storm's figures. Pretty much somewhere in the middle, I would say, for articulation. So I'll give him a 7. There's nothing special at all. But he's not bad. His hips are really nice, I guess. That's good. Having to adjust his tatties all the time is going to be annoying. But okay, time for the final verdict. Oh, come on. Time for the final verdict. It's a good figure. If you like this look for Goro, go ahead and pick it up. You're not going to have any real problem with it. It's perfectly fine. Is it the most elaborate, most fancy thing they've ever released? No. Maybe in terms of paint, yes, but articulation, no. Sculpt and an aesthetic, it's not the best, but it's good. The body looks weird, but the clothing looks good. And then accessories, you know, it's average. There's a lot of average here for a high-end company that generally releases good products, so it doesn't stand out amongst their other products. But if you're comparing it to something like this, which I wouldn't do directly, considering the price point and everything, but if you're doing that, then you're going to be in love with this Goro. I'm going to give him, for Storm, though, an overall rating of only 7.5. It's really good in some ways, but not in enough ways to make it stand out. And I keep having this issue where he wants to lean to the side, like one leg is shorter than the other. I think it's just the way the ankles are posed, but yeah, he's not really going to stand out on the Storm shelf, but he will stand out in your collection, so do with that what you will. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's it for me for now. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday, or at least I will soon. Once I'm done with the remodel, we'll get back to that. I do have thousands of videos already on the channel. If you're feeling a hankering for some more action figure reviews, they're sitting there waiting for you to watch them. So make sure you come back for all of that good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.